and made millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
How do you end up in here?
I think everyone who's watching knows how I ended up in here.
I don't know if they do.
I'm pretty sure they do. Anytime you get it, I'm pretty sure they do. You know, there's
I want to talk about like the Kanye West breakdown thing, like MK Ultra breaking down, and like how he was waking up and they try to like fucking put his ass back to sleep. You know, because you guys think like celebrities are like, oh, I want to be fucking rich, famous, but like, do you have no idea that when you sign up for that shit, you're more of a slave than normal people? Because normal people can still do shit. They're, you know. The only boss you have is like your boss at work, but like celebrities, like they have an illusion like they're all free and stuff, and have all this money, but like literally they can't do shit. That's why they have like star whackers, because when you get out of line, like they'll whack your ass, you know, because like they're providing you so much money and fame and all this shit that you're literally, you gotta do what they tell you to do. And if you step out of line like Kanye West, like how he was like, you know, supporting Donald Trump because his like mind control was breaking down, he was waking up out of his like slave out of the puppet slave
fear, and nobody's more afraid than people in Hollywood. They're afraid that they'll drop out of the top, you know, they're afraid that they'll drop from the bottom of the pyramid maybe to the middle of the pyramid. But you know, they're the ones, Hollywood is the one that keeps all this power structure and all this culture of racism and sexism and classism and genderism and all of it in place. They continually feed it, and they make a lot of money doing it, and they do it at the behest of their masters who run everything. So, you know, they're not going to get brave enough to do that. I mean, I think that there aren't many of us who are brave enough to do that. And I'm just, you know, I'm lucky that I can do it, and I feel that I do it on behalf of many people in Hollywood too. I go to Hollywood parties, or you know, occasionally I go to Oscar parties and things like that, and people, big stars, people will grab me by the arm and take me aside and say, I just want to thank you for the things you say. And it blows my mind, but that's the culture. It's a culture of fear for sure. You know, and it's a big culture of mind control too. MK Ultra mind control rules in Hollywood. If you don't know, Google that and look into it.
Well, we've talked about Operation Mockingbird, MK Ultra mind control stuff from, I mean, this goes back decades and decades. But Rosanne, I mean, do you know people have been blacklisted? I mean, is it just kind of a self-censorship in Hollywood, or do people actually get edged out if they are too much against the grain?
Yeah, it's self-censorship after a while, but it's not just a crazy self-censorship. It's self-censorship because there's actually a danger that you will never work again. And people know it. Everybody has friends that it happened to, that maybe you said too much, or maybe you were too vocal on unpopular issues. And it's funny because it doesn't matter if 2 years later, I find this a lot, that 2 years later those unpopular issues become very mainstream. They still don't forgive the first person who does it. And that's kind of been my story there. When you're first, you're you know, going to be vilified, despite the fact that 2 years later everybody's saying what you said. You're still going to be vilified because you dared. And you know, like they say, the Chinese, you know, the Chinese have a myth or a saying that says the nail that stands up is hammered down, and that's how it is here and everywhere in the world.
Right now, press, get ready to write your passive-aggressive LeBron James racist comments, season 4 racist comments. Get ready to have a field day, press. Get ready. Get ready, because the show's over.
Oh my God!
Kanye West is hospitalized today after a string of several bizarre recent incidents.
Kanye West canceled his concert here in LA tonight, just hours after ranting and then walking off the stage in Sacramento.
It's a new world, Hillary Clinton. It's a new world.
The hip-hop star reportedly was taken to UCLA Medical Center after a series of erratic public outbursts. West is said to be under a psychiatric hold today, which prevents him from leaving the hospital.
Y'all don't want to lose again. A lot of people here tonight felt like they lost. You know why? Because y'all been lied to. Google lied to you. Facebook lied to you.
You know, mental illness.
Perhaps. And you know, we've seen unusual outbursts from Kanye in the past, but this last one, this past weekend, we all really stopped to wonder if everything was okay, because this one was
It was a 17-minute tirade, 17 minutes in a concert. That's like a lifetime to sit there and just rant.
I've been offended since I was like out of the womb. I just don't really like Kanye right now. I just lost all respect for Kanye.
Rescue 41, psychiatric emergency, Laurel Avenue.
The LAPD says officers responded to a call of a disturbance.
I am putting my career, my life, my public well-standing at risk when I talk to y'all like this.
The sudden medical emergency comes after several days of bizarre behavior at his concerts.
The situation unfolded just hours after canceling the remaining 22 U.S. dates of his St. Pablo tour. LAPD confirmed they responded to a call at 1:20 p.m., at which point the fire department was called in. It's been reported that West tried to resist paramedics and had to be handcuffed to the stretcher.
It was uncharacteristic of him, but that aside, you know, to cancel a month and a half's worth of tours when a lot of money is on the line, something is pretty wrong here.
But sometimes we be playing the politics too much and forgetting who we are. Just to win. Winning. Looking cool. I've been sitting here to give y'all my truth, even at the risk of my own life, even at the risk of my own success, my own career. I've been sitting here to give y'all the truth.
I think he's exhausted, just really tired.
Rapper Snoop Dogg watching West Sacramento concert Saturday night, where he went on a wild rant and walked off stage.
I smoke weed. Weed don't make you do that. What the f is he on?
There's still a lot of questions tonight about the health of rapper Kanye West.
Feelings matter. Because guess what? Everybody in middle America felt the way. And they showed you how they felt. Feelings matter, bro. It's a new world. It's a new world, Barack. It's a new world, Jay-Z. These is the vibes, bro. This is the future. This is the way of thinking to make America great again.
Sacramento Kings player Anthony Tolliver tweeted, "This dude Kanye just stole money from 22,000 fans in 25 minutes. Craziest thing I've ever seen in entertainment. 2 songs, rant, walk out."
To black people, stop focusing on racism. This world is racist, okay? Let's stop being distracted to focus on that as much.
Now, at the same time, we've been tracking for a while Kanye's problems. As far back as, you know, the summer, we were talking to people who knew him well from Chicago, like the rapper Rhymefest, who worked with him on his first album and knew him before he was Kanye West, but just a kid in Chicago. And he talked about how he was losing touch with reality, and they were seeing this erratic behavior. And understand, he was at the house of Harley Pasternak, who has been his longtime trainer. He's a Hollywood trainer to the stars. Other folks like Common have worked with Harley, and Kanye's worked for him for a long time. So for Harley to say there's an issue, right, you know there's something wrong. And the fact that they had to then put him in handcuffs, that tells you something there too.
Not the people that work at radio, because these is real people that gotta feed their kids. and they not being allowed to play that real, because they think that in order to feed their kids, they gotta play the same over and over. I was raised by DMX, the last real alive.
I first came to Arizona, man, and I remember one day coming from the studio at 6 o'clock in the morning and pulling over on the highway. We like 4 cars, you know, just to watch the sunrise. And it was at that point that I fell in love with Arizona. I said, you know what, this has to be God's country. You know, because I'd never seen anything as beautiful as that sunrise. Then I met the devil in God's country. You know, and it's not so much who, it's what, you know, what happens and the things that the devil does. It's not so much a person, even though he acts through people.
In today's video, I will be exposing Britney Spears' brand new music video called Slumber Party. So let's get to it, because there's much more to this sinister music video than meets the eye. Britney Spears is the ultimate ideal of the modern pop star. Young, beautiful, controversial, and of course, completely controlled by the elites. So it really should be no surprise that her new song, Slumber Party, is permeated with occult symbology. In fact, this song is a detailed account of what Britney Spears goes through as a famous mind control slave in the Hollywood scene. As you could clearly see here, the first scene of Britney's music video begins during the dark hours of the night. As her car pulls up through the gates, we realize she is heading to a magnificent mansion on the night of an incredibly full moon. With no driver in sight, Britney Spears then exits the vehicle herself, dressed immaculately in all red, which is a symbolic and a satanic ritual gesture in its own right. As she steadily walks up to the mansion, we then notice strange statues and fire-breathing and juggling performers. We then begin to understand that she is actually heading to an elite insider party. Secret societies and those part of the cabal are known for their exclusive annual parties for the rich and the famous. But these are no ordinary parties. Behind the closed doors of their mansions, the ultra-rich are actually occultists engaged in unspeakable acts of evil.
I want to talk about your new single, Slumber Party.
Yes.
I know you do that with Tinashe.
Yes.
And does Slumber Party, does it mean like the old school Slumber Party, or is it like a hidden meaning?
It's kind of like, we just did the video, and it's kind of like a younger Eyes Wide Shut theme. So it's kind of a little risky, it's very sexy, it's very moody, and it's fun. It's fun.
And within this video, the Illuminati are giving you a first-hand inside look at what vile acts take place inside of their so-called parties. One notable party that was held by the Rothschilds in 1972 has recently been exposed with frightening images. And unsurprisingly, its unnerving similarities to the party reenacted in Britney's new video are undeniable. As we continue, we see Britney Spears entering the mansion where a party ensues in full swing. As she walks up the stairs, immoral and compromising shots of men and women are shown everywhere, representing the grotesque satanic sex rituals that take place within the mansion's walls. As Britney walks through the party, she locks eyes with a mysterious gentleman with a lightning bolt over his eye, representing her meeting with Satan, who in fact runs the music industry. Britney has long sold out to the industry, and because of this, he will never leave her alone. Regardless of where she goes, Satan always follows. Since Britney's fame in the late 90s, Britney has had numerous public meltdowns due to mind control breakdowns and the stress of coping with the MK Ultra life she leads. As the video unfolds, blatant sexual programming is shown. We see Britney dancing suggestively on the couch, which can represent the infamous Hollywood casting couch horror stories we all have heard of before. And we also see what she had to go through while under sex kitten mind control programming. In reality, we're seeing a toned down version of what really goes on in these elite parties. As perilous times approach, Hollywood is getting more and more blatant. In truth, the immoral aspect of this video is clearly undeniable. And what's worse is that someone of Britney's caliber has to complete these satanic rituals as they get worse and worse. We then see Britney with a newcomer to the music industry on that same couch, representing the initiation of a new artist into the blasphemous world of fame. As the initiation is complete, we then see Britney crawl back to Satan like a cat on a table complete with a choker that looks like a color, seeking for his approval. As Satan nods in approval, we see Britney back at the party, laying and cuddling with her initiate and other party attendees. This is just a small fraction of what happens behind the closed doors. This is truly the sad life of an MK Ultra mind control victim, and Britney Spears is one of the best examples of it of our generation. Britney Spears was raised by the Illuminati since her Disney days, and unfortunately, she'll probably never be freed from this type of satanic abuse. Her music video exposes the industry for what it truly is. So let's listen to the message she's trying to reveal and pray for her.
And when you tell people that, and when I tell them the way I feel, it's like they hear me, but they really not listening. They're hearing what they want to hear. They're not really listening to what I'm telling them. It's like, it's bad. I'm sad.
And, you know, normally I wouldn't even come out and talk much about this because, you know, it's just kind of an uncomfortable, unseemly subject.
I can tell you that the #1 problem in Hollywood was and is and always will be pedophilia. That's the biggest problem for children in this industry.
The casting couch even applies to children.
Oh, yeah. Not in the same way. It's all done under the radar.
Nobody talks about pedophilia.
It's the big secret.
I've talked on the show before about how I came to the belief that the people running Hollywood were these insane pedophiles. And then just a few weeks after that last appearance, Corey Feldman came out, and the actor, and said pretty much what I had been saying, even though mine was just coming from looking at the evidence and not from any personal experience. He, as a child actor, was apparently, again, reading between the lines, repeatedly raped. And I think, you know, we see this and we have to, like, realize who we're dealing with and what we're dealing with. And it's way beyond the boundaries of things that we can imagine. We can't imagine it because we're not them, and we're not as evil as that.
No, I agree. I was surprised Feldman came out with that. No one followed up on that. I mean, everywhere you look, pedophilia is being institutionalized in our society.
That's the point.
Yeah, the French now have introduced lingerie for little 5-year-old girls. I mean, it just, there's no end to it all. Pole dancing kits for 5- and 6-year-old girls. Pre-training bras for little girls. This is pedophilia. This is nothing less. It's
they're institutionalizing it, making it okay. It won't be this generation, but it'll be the next one.
It's very soon. They're sexualizing everything to the extent now that little girls cannot get away.
Watching it, and their mind is maybe not even seeing it, but it's going into their subconscious. Words flashing on the screen over and over. SEX, you know, nudity, filth, all the smut is just coming on the screen. Oh, those movies are harmless. They're filled with subliminal messages. Who knows what your kids are being programmed? Oh, but you know what? I'm sure that it's only just the Disney movies.
Allows to discredit, reproduce, and show clips for criticism, commenting, reporting, teaching, and research of copyrighted material without authorization of the copyright.
I'll tell you what's the worst part about television is the programming, the philosophy, okay? I mean, the manipulating of your mind, the philosophy, the mentality, the system of thinking, the ideology. That's what's wrong with television. That's what's wrong with movies. That's where they're really getting in your head.
Has Disney been secretly placing sexually explicit subliminal messages in their animated children's movies? And is there a more sinister reason for these messages? I'm John Doe. Let's take a closer look. Closer. Oh! Is that a smoked turkey leg in your pocket, or are you just... Wait a second, you can't joke like that, Doe. This is a children's movie. Oh, hey, this looks pretty wholesome. I wonder what the forecast in Africa is today, Simba. Looks like it's partly cloudy with a chance of sex. That definitely spells out sex. I thought The Lion King was a children's movie. Let's check the poster to be sure. Oh, and how about the poster for Tangled for a little more subliminal advertising? And apparently in Agrabah, good teenagers take off their clothes. And here's Jessica Rabbit flashing some Conejo a la Sharon Stone in Basic Instinct. Still don't believe Disney's peddling sex in their animated movies? I am not making this stuff up, people. That was really in there. And this next one is just disturbing. Although with recent rumors surrounding ex-Pope Benedict, this one seems like legitimate satire. Now, a Disney rep might say, to which I would reply, God damn it, give me somebody who speaks English. Oh, it's just one of our Randy animators having a goof with one of his animator pals. But is a golden foot-long Jeff Stryker monster dong with a suction cup base really the kind of practical joke that you want on the cover of the video cassette that you give to your 8-year-old nephew at his Chuck E. Cheese birthday party? I am so sorry, Kenny.
And these Disney movies, at first when I was a teenager and somebody showed me this, I thought it was just a couple movies, a couple scenes, but you know, as time has gone on, I've realized that virtually every Disney movie is packed with hundreds of subliminal messages to program the minds of your children. Okay, but then forget the subliminal message. Just the message of the Disney movies is perverted. Even if you just forget the subliminal message. I mean, forget, what movies did we bring up? The Little Mermaid. You know, a half animal, half human being. And that's perverted in and of itself. All throughout the Bible, every false god is a half animal, half human being. They're constantly merging of animals and human beings. It's paganism. It's wicked. And yet every Disney movie is pretty much based on the merging of a human being with an animal. It's described in the Bible. And the movie The Little Mermaid, you know, she's topless the whole time, right? She's just wearing like a bikini top. How is that? Is that how you want your daughter to dress? Is that, oh, but there's no cussing, there's no nudity. Do you want your daughter going around in a bikini top?
Ain't no passing craze. It means no worries for the rest of your days. It's our problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata, what a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Matata, ain't no...
It's obvious that stuff is bad, but then they'll say, well, we watch Disney movies. And I've been to the home of preachers and Christians who would never watch TV or the movies, but yet they have the whole library of the Walt Disney movies. You know those white plastic cases? And they have them all lined up, and I mean, they have tons of them lined up, scores. I don't know how many there are, but there's hundreds of them. They have them lined up.
This video shed light on the satanic, Luciferian, Illuminati indoctrination of our children through subliminal messages in Disney movies. I understand that you may not believe this, but when you look into who is making these movies and you see the fruits of their labor, it all makes sense. Walt Disney was a Freemason obsessed with the occult and used his movies and his theme parks as a tool to indoctrinate the public into his beliefs. Club 33 in the Disneyland parks is symbolic of the 33rd degree of Masonry. This symbolism is also put into the Disney movies. In the Dumbo movie, after getting drunk, Dumbo and the rat have lucid dreams that contain satanic, Luciferian, and Illuminati symbolism. Disney also displays its corrupt satanic agenda through programming of their idols. They introduce innocent stars that slip under parents' radar and build up a fan base. As the idols get older, they corrupt them and send them on a crash course in a dragnet plot to drag some of their fans down with them. Examples of this are Miley Cyrus, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera.
Pushing it, and giving us Lady Gaga and everything. It's a complete destruction of the psychosexual mind of children.
Do you know that Disney movies are filled with subliminal messages? Subliminal messages. Now, what are we talking about tonight? Sorcery. What are we talking about tonight? Getting inside your mind and messing with you, controlling your thought process by supernatural means or demonic means. Or hey, I'm going to tell you something. Disney movies are filled with subliminal messages. And you say, oh, that's a hoax. I've seen it with my own eyes. When I was a teenager, I had a friend of mine sit me down at his house and show me the subliminal messages in the Disney movies. They're filled with subliminal messages. Let me give you some examples. The Lion King, in the movie Beauty and the Beast. The whole first half of the movie is these prostitutes in the town that are dressed just half naked, dancing around, you know, admiring this guy, the big, strong, handsome guy. But all these girls are dressed indecently. They're obscene in their gestures, subliminal messages, and then the whole movie is basically just exalting a certain physical standard of appearance. Beauty and the Beast is a movie about a woman who falls in love with an animal. And in the movie, they keep acting like, well, he's just ugly. He's not ugly, he's an animal. But there's a difference between being ugly and being a beast, being an animal. And if you've seen the cartoon, it's an animal. It's like a dog. It's like a big dog man or something. I mean, it's clearly an animal, and yet she falls in love with him while he's an animal. You know, only when she kisses an animal does he become a human being.
They say they don't make things like they used to, and when it comes to cartoons, they apparently don't. Take a look at this master cut of what used to be included in Looney Tunes reruns.
If that guy does that to me once more on this picture, I'm gonna blow my brains out. You're right. Well, doggone it, I reckon I ain't got no alternative.
Goodness, I didn't want to live.
Goodbye, cruel world.
Never let anyone, something another woman friend of mine, Joy, told me, never let anyone take you off your square. And if it feels uncomfortable, then you are probably not in the right place. You know, just don't sell your soul. You know, and men and women do this. You know, I would say even to young boys.
There's also parts in the album where you speak to Lucy. Lucifer.
Yeah.
The devil. So you
it's trippy.
You see both sides of.
Yeah, man. It's when I go inside, I may do an after party. I see it all around, man. I may do an after party, and this is how I'll be able to write these records, because it's not just the positive energy that speaks to me, it's the negative too, it's the evils too, and we all have temptations.
Right.
You know, me, I'm just fortunate enough to translate them temptations through record.
Right.
You know, I always said this is truly a gift for me. Putting these records out is a gift for me, because I'm not only a voice for myself, but I'm a voice for people who can't express themselves like that.
Right.
And Lucy is one of my favorite records because it's me actually coming to realization of the evils rather than acting like it's not going around. My thoughts are not happening. My thoughts are happening right in front of my face. I gotta present them.
That reminded me in a way, and not to compare it to anything, because I do think this is an original, maybe one of the most original works we've seen in a long time, but it reminded me a little bit of Snoop.
Yeah.
And Murder Was the Case. Where he had that conversation with the devil, with Lucifer, and that temptation was in him.
Just being in such an infrastructure like BET, and I still work in the film and television industry, and I have actors that we see on TV every day that are my friends, and I'm in their homes, and I know that they ain't got no money. I've been over rappers' cribs that will go on MTV cribs talking crazy, and I've been in their house like, word, you living a little bit better than me, because it's all based off perception. Even going back to what the brother talked about with the homosexuality with the rappers, here's the kicker. It's not that the rappers are gay. That's not it. That's a misconception. What it is, it's about control. See, that's what makes it, that's why you see so many buffoons nowadays in television and film, doing things that we know are like, wow, Jamie Foxx, you would say that? Wow, Jay-Z, you would actually sit there and do an anti-Semitic commercial? Because they're in a bind, because see, Jay-Z's not gay. I'll use him as an example. He's not gay, but once you reach a certain level within that weapon of mass destruction, you have to give something up. There's something that you're going to give up because you got to be down with that crew. And how do I know? Because it happened to me. That is why I'm standing here talking right now. I reached a certain level in that station. I was the only producer to ever come as a new kid and create a multi-million-dollar revenue generating show. So it's not even reality television. But they understand that majority of us, whether we like it or not, are lazy as hell. On a spiritual level. We think because we work 3 jobs that, nah, I'm not lazy. But spiritually, psychologically, the masses are lazy. But the majority of us, and I know it's going to be kind of harsh, but the majority of us will never fulfill our dreams. So we'll never be in a position to say what we would or would not do. You understand what I'm saying? We'll never be in that position. Because before I got there, I would say the same thing until I got there. You understand? So I literally lived the devil taking me to the mountain and saying, you can go to the left, you can have all of this. And I was there. It was ritualistically done. The vice president sent his right-hand man to me 3 straight weekends. They do everything in 3s. Well, now it's time for them to introduce me to the inner workings of this monster that's created. And that's why nowadays we see people caught up on secret societies, but it ain't no secret if everybody's talking about it.
I think everyone who's watching knows how I ended up in here.
I don't know if they do.
I'm pretty sure they do. Anytime you get it, I'm pretty sure they do. You know, there's how do I end up in here?
Never let anyone, something another woman friend of mine, Joy, told me, never let anyone take you off your square. And if it feels uncomfortable, then you are probably not in the right place. You know, just don't sell your soul. You know, and men and women do this. You know, I would say even to young boys. I've seen young boys get turned out in this industry too.